Howdy folks, I'm Marstead and I'm working on a full blind playthrough of old school RuneScape. And I'm sure that sentence raises a lot of questions, so let's unpack that. So first off, what do I mean when I say blind? How is it possible that I've never played this game? I am 32 years old. That means in 2001 when this came out, I was in middle school. I was like 14. And somehow I just never heard of it. And that's probably for the best. Now that I've played it while I'm recording this introduction, if I had played this when I was 14, it would have ruined my life. I am an adult now. I have good time management skills. I can play this without it shutting everything else down. But if I had played this in middle school, that would have been the end. My first exposure to this game started a few years ago when its subreddit started to pop up on my front page. I would usually watch whatever content made it there because, if it got 10,000 upvotes, it must have been good, right? Sure, that's divisive in the community. But I would watch these videos and these posts and I'd try to piece together what old school RuneScape was all about, just from my gaming intuition and from contextual clues. So I kind of understand RuneScape through cultural osmosis. I know before going into it that it's a game about grinding, in the same way that I knew before going into Resident Evil that it's a horror game that is a little bit more action-focused than it is horror-focused. But other than that, I know nothing about it. I don't know how skills work, I don't know how combat works, I don't know how to do anything, I don't know how to go anywhere, I don't know what the map is like. I am a blank slate. Now, there are a ton of amazing content creators for this game. I've watched a lot of them. The expertly produced Swampletics videos on Reddit are so awesome. I love that stuff, even though I don't get 90% of it. But what I think is missing on YouTube is a blind experience. Everyone who plays RuneScape, this game is so classic that everyone has played it before, so all the content creators on the internet are veterans, and they know this game inside and out, and they are working to squeeze the very last drops of blood out of the game, and their content is really cool for it. But I think that there's this niche that YouTube might appreciate, a newbie player experiencing the whole game for the first time, and that's the niche I'm looking to fill with the series. But experience the whole game, that leads me to the second question. When I say full blind playthrough, what do I mean when I say full playthrough? What is that? So I'm a variety streamer. My goal is to beat every awesome game. Most games have a really obvious beat condition, like getting the credits to roll, seeing it say the end on the screen. Sometimes we have to be a little bit more creative with the beat condition for a game. A racing game might have to be get bronze on all the tracks. For an MMO, I might say beating the game is doing the main story quest and completing the instanced content. I've discussed the beat condition for this game, RuneScape, with my stream community, and we have agreed on one: earning the quest cape. The quest cape seems like a fantastic endpoint for a blind playthrough of this game. To get it, you have to get every skill in the game to a really high level. Not to 99, which I think is probably excessive for this sort of content, but to its own respective endgame. And the quests themselves are really long and varied. They take you all over the game world to nearly every town, dungeon, and enemy in the game. So for the purposes of my channel theme, I'm going to say that we've beaten RuneScape once we unlock the quest cape. Now, one more question you might be asking is why? Why would I play RuneScape for the first time now in 2019? Well, on my channel, my Twitch subscribers are able to occasionally nominate a game for me to play for about an hour of stream time. One of my subscribers, Chaos Factor, saved up 8 hours to get me to check out this game. He was banking on the fact that I was going to like it. So the first episode of the series that you're about to watch is just a raw VOD of my first 8 hours streaming the game to my Twitch community. So I have folks in Twitch chat who are helping me along. Don't worry too much about that. I have a pretty aggressive spoiler backseating policy, so I generally am only getting help and tips when I ask. But Chaos thought that I was going to like this game when he got me to stream it, but he was wrong. I love this game. I fucking love old school RuneScape. I knew then and there at the end of that 8-hour stream that I had to beat it. I had to. But that raised two really big problems for me. Problem number one was the length. The quest cape is a monumental achievement. It requires hundreds of hours to complete. My Twitch channel is this variety channel. It's all about beating lots of awesome games. I have people that tune in to watch Mario and Zelda and Resident Evil and Final Fantasy, everything. I can't just shut all that down to grind out RuneScape for a year live on stream. Problem two is that while RuneScape is a ton of fun, the moment-to-moment experience isn't really great for a typical stream viewer, you know? If at least when you have a variety stream, if you're an old school RuneScape streamer and people know what they're getting into when they tune in, that's awesome. But someone that usually watches Zelda coming in is more likely to see me running my 7,000th agility course lap than really see any exciting content like a rare drop or a blind quest attempt. So to deal with these two problems, I've decided that after the first 8-hour streamed episode, I'm going to record the rest of my playthrough solo, offline. So no Twitch chat, no hints, my own logic and research only. And so far, I'm recording this introduction after about, 3 episodes I've edited. I think it's working out pretty well. In episode 1, I'm still blind, but I have some friends in chat who have played the game before, and they're there to help me with some of my more obvious questions. It's sort of like when your friends try to get you to try out an MMO for the first time. They might help you take your first steps in it. But starting with episode 2, I am utterly blind. Now, problem number 2, that the moment-to-moment experience isn't super interesting, I think that's still an issue, even with a YouTube VOD. Now, the way most of these old-school RuneScape content creators deal with that is to basically just cut together highlight videos. You know, instead of watching someone's raw 500-hour grind, you just see their highlights, the level ups, the random events, lucky drops, that sort of thing. My channel's all about full playthroughs, though, so I don't really want people to miss anything, even the boring parts. Thought about it a lot, and I've settled on the compromise, and I think it works pretty well. Okay, so first of all, every single hour I will ever play of old school RuneScape has been and will be recorded. I will never complete any content for this game without it being uploaded to YouTube. I will not boot this game up on my phone and grind out fishing. If I would do fishing, it's going to get recorded. Second, I will keep my microphone muted by default unless something interesting is happening. So interesting is leveling up, reaching a new area, attempting a quest for the first time. Whenever that happens, I'm going to unmute and provide my commentary. Then, when the recording is done, I can go back and stitch things together so that when I'm not talking, things are significantly fast-forwarded, like a factor of 16 times or 64 times or even faster, depending on how long and slow and boring the grind was. So you're going to see a timer on the screen. It'll give you a sense of exactly how much real time is passing, but you're not going to have to watch every grueling second of the Falador agility course. It's just going to slow down for the interesting bits. If I do the Falador agility course and a genie pops up, you'll see the genie and it'll slow down and you'll hear me talk about it. And then as soon as I'm done getting my lamp, it's going to speed right back up to 64 times speed. This takes these 8-hour chunks of raw content and refines them down to like 90 to 120-minute episodes, which I think is a lot more palatable for YouTube. So if that all sounds interesting to you, then I really hope you enjoy episode 1. It should play next in the playlist. Episode 1, again, was my streamed blind experience. Since it was streamed, I did not go back and speed it up at all. I was talking with chat the whole time, learning new things, even when I was doing grindy stuff like killing chickens. But starting in episode 2, I start to use that fast forward feature I mentioned. There's not going to be any chat in episode 2, no one to help me at all from that point forward. So for those reasons, for me trying to stay as blind as possible, I'm going to be keeping comments enabled on this series, but I will not be reading them. I need to avoid spoilers and tips as much as possible. I just want to stay completely blind. Even as I go back and edit my own videos, I can't help but facepalm at some of the stuff that I do, the decisions I make as a new player. But I think that me making mistakes like that, that's going to be part of the fun. It's not as fun if I make a mistake and someone in chat says, oh, that was wrong, or someone on YouTube goes, next time you should do this. I think it's more interesting to see me figure it out over time. So you're still welcome to comment and discuss this with other viewers, but I'm not going to be reading anything here until we get the quest cape. Now, I've been recording a lot of this game, but it takes me a while to edit together my little 8-hour chunks. Just to get the fast forwarding to work right, it's, a couple days of work to get it together. So I'd expect a new video in this series about once a week, maybe a little bit more often if I can get more time set aside for editing. So without further ado, episode 1 should autoplay now. Thank you for watching.